one badass thing.
The Umbrella Academy finishes with a massive cliffhanger, leaving a lot of questions unanswered. We'll be debunking all major hypotheses about what the ending means in this video. There will be a lot of spoilers in this section, but if you haven't had a chance to watch the whole season yet, I advise you to do so. Stick around, buckle up as we dig down to the Umbrella Academy predictions, and more. But before we get into it, please do me a favor and smash the like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell button for notifications whenever a new video is published. If you also adore Klaus as much as we do, with everything out of the way, welcome to the broadcast with a lot of spoilers. I'm your idea of a host. Let's get started on our Season 3 hypothesis now. In Season 2, going back in time to escape the apocalypse due to Number 5's inability to master his skills properly, the family was set down in the 1960s. The entry pursued him as he attempted to reunite the group and stop Vanya from triggering a doomed state. They pulled it off after a couple of close calls. It was through Ben's bravery that saved the timeline and the squad. The Handler was vanquished. They soon realized something was wrong the day after the apocalypse. In the academy, they discovered not only a portrait of Ben hung over the fireplace, but also Hargreaves, who was still alive and well to make matters worse. He'd founded the Sparrow Academy, which is also the title of the 4th Umbrella Academy novel. Later in the video, we'll talk about how we think this all fits together. Now, I'm completely enamored of the way the final shot reflects. One of the first things we note in the season is that the family has managed to avert the apocalypse. There will be a lot of issues now, but they have taken some liberties. Netflix seems to be staying true to the comics, no matter how similar Season 2 and the second graphic novel Dallas are. There are specific lessons to be learned. Oblivion is the 3rd book in the Umbrella Academy Hotel series, and it follows the gang as they go off and do their own thing. They haven't set it up yet, so they may end up dragging components around. Although the storyline follows its path in the book, there is a villain named the Murder Magician who I believe will appear as an interdimensional prison for villains, which is where the title originated. On the whole, it's about the group developing themselves as the world fills with superpowered lunatics, and it's an intriguing premise. Now, these superpowered individuals are all connected to the 43 children born on the same day. Layla's arrival suggests that there are others like her out there. As a result, there will be numerous future students roaming around, changing the world in their ways. It concludes the Annex hypothesis. In this timeline, I believe the original family may have all been born, but Judah Hargreaves, who encountered unstable iterations of them in the 1960s East, opted to accept others. Oh, Greaves is a tenacious person who prioritizes the good of the universe above everything else. Even though he doesn't appear to care in the comics, when asked why he pressed the Academy so hard, the character clearly said that he wanted them to be the best versions of themselves. However, the pressure backfired, and I believe that rather than seeing the flaws of this behavior, Paul would instead gamble with other children in the hopes of a positive result. I honestly believe he only picked another random 7, and because he didn't meet Ben in the 1960s, he wouldn't have known not to choose him. Members of the family might meet copies of themselves in Season 3. It usually results in them having to face evil predecessors. It would be funny, in my opinion, if the party encountered their alternative selves and discovered that they were both contents. Let's be honest, Hargreaves held them to the ultimate test. He pretty much left them all with severe psychiatric issues. I think it would be awesome if Klaus met a clone of himself that wasn't an alcoholic and had just grown up leading a good lifestyle, not that his lifestyle wasn't fun. Now, out of all the characters, Klaus undoubtedly has the most variety in terms of complexities, and this, in my mind, would be an interesting angle to investigate. The Umbrella Academy has always been treated bad, and knowing how well they should have gotten it will bring more grim comedy to the show. That's just my reflections about how the episode might have gone if they never pulled into the lives of superheroes. But as for where the family finds themselves, there's a lot we can learn from it. As previously said, Hotel Oblivion is the 3rd volume, and Sparrow Academy is the 4th. I believe Netflix will merge the two and deal with the Sparrow Academy in addition to the Oblivion aspects that revolve around the Hargreaves carving out their lives. It is always present in every season of the show, and it almost runs across all of the series. The first season, for example, revealed how the father's decisions had influenced their upbringing and the lives they'd gone on to lead. They became the focus of the 2nd season, which carved out new faces in the past. As a result, it's only natural that everyone is pulled back for a 3rd season, which deals with them trying to start over in a timeline that's not theirs. With the first 20 minutes of Season 3, I couldn't imagine them getting booted out of the Academy. Both grievances, I'm sure, are aware of them. He's made it known that he doesn't want to be associated with them. I believe that as the family arrives in this timeline, they will learn that many other superpowered entities are wandering the Earth, and that they will have to team up with the Sparrow Academy to stop them. If failed to do so, they will have to deal with the fact of being stuck in a timeline that isn't their own and must adjust to their new lives. I don't think they had season centering on them, attempting to correct the timetable when they've tried and struggled before. As a result, I believe this shift will be lasting. I suspected that the family would be trapped in this new world, coping with the consequences, and still would be desperate to win the affection of that father, who now doesn't care about them in the least, and they haven't had the chance to calm down and take a breather because of what they've been. Season 3, I believe, would focus on a character growth and what they've been through together. One of the most important questions you might have right now is Hargreaves still alive? Okay, in the initial timeline, all but Luther abandoned him, so things turned out differently. However, the entire Sparrow Academy, including Ben, is still out there. But fortunately, he had a very different life. But that doesn't mean he was happy. And, in the lack of Pogo and Grace, he most likely poured his heart and soul into the Academy. Great, of course, found out about Hargreaves' plans in the second season, and she most certainly took Pogo with her because of their bond that made the two absent at the conclusion. This occurrence, on the other hand, is a pain. At the very least, Pogo was still alive since it was Avandia that killed him the last time around, and Hargreaves may have even taken a step back that caused Ben to be the lead out. Of course, this brings us to the titanic elephant in the building. In the books, Ben is alive and still seems to be very emo. Ben is known as the Horror, and I want to call attention to his nickname because it seems that without his family, the character has taken a darker turn. And yes, buddy, the hairstyle isn't cool. It reminded me of when Peter Parkway was all emo and forgot his French, creepy horror, and others would argue that now that Vanya is gone, Ben is the most strong of the gang. From his stomach, he can summon tentacles, and it appears that when Goose opens his mouth in Captain Marvel, he destroys everyone who comes within his range. He's very risky. As a result of this has most certainly left him conceited, and with no one nearby to stifle his vanity. He's most likely to turn out as a bit of a jerk. I'm not sure because I haven't seen him in person yet. That's the vibe I'm seeing. I believe the third season will focus on the Academy's efforts to get him to return to the sun, and it will lead him on a different path, while still putting right the wrongs that led to his death. Today, we don't know what happened to Ben or the circumstances that led to his death. As a result, I believe the show will discuss this as it has teased up until his funeral. The other superpowered entities that now live on Earth opens up a world of possibilities. By default, Holland is a part of this. Vanya went through a total breakdown after acquiring his powers, killing his father in the process. Vanya was able to keep his abilities from consuming anything about his setting. By the end, we could see that he already had some of her talents. He demonstrated this by levitating. In my head, what seemed to be a sparrow went back and forth on this. But I believe Harlan will be the first superhuman on the planet and that he became a hero. Paul Greaves' example may have led to the Academy being named after him, when he's around the right age to be someone who grew up and made them laugh roundabout. I believe he will have a significant impact on the upcoming season, and who knows, he may also turn out to be a villain himself, as is always the case in superhero shows. Anyways, so are our ideas and hypotheses. And of course, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Before leaving, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button for notifications on our future content. With that, see you in the next one.